Oh, okay. And we're live. Hello, everybody. Hopefully, we'll be finishing up the ghost skill tonight. But to start off, I think we'll just be doing some of his weapon options that I never got to. Just finishing those up. And the my bad. There we go. And hello, Noel. How are you? I feel like I may be coming down with something, so apologies if it's a slightly shorter stream or if my currently strange condition of voice is off-putting. Why is it so close? Hello, yes, hi. Still having a little bit of weirdness with my camera settings, but it's much better than the last stream at least. You know what? I'm really disappointed to say. I think I'll probably wait until I move to set it up properly. Mainly because that. Like, it depends on plans, but we are, or I'm going to be moving out somewhat shortly. I feel like it's in some ways not necessarily worth it until I can figure out like a time frame. If I know it's gonna be, you know, a couple months, then of course I'll put on my wall, but currently there's a couple things still up in flux. So once I figure out all those, the display will be going up. However, if anyone here is confused with what we're referring to, well, check out Built to Last Designs. They sent me some really nice stuff, including a really nice hanging mini display. That's kind of hard to show on stream. What I can show off is this really nice dice tray they gifted me. Very nice. I believe this is let's be like red oak. I don't really know woods, but I do know good craftsmanship. And this is quite nice. I guess also speaking of, I am currently doing some models. You probably saw them last stream. But just before we started, I did this little mini for one of my shorts, the 8K Interactive series. Just finished this guy up, and this is a print from Trainwreck 3D. Really good like FDM printing services. I believe they have both you know, print on demand stuff you want to put orders in, or they have a pretty nice catalog of Bright Minis stuff. Paints up really nice, really high quality FDM, and a good price. Has a beholder on it, that's cool, brings people. Yeah, it's really nice. From being honest, it's really even custom made for me. The really kind people had a nick in it, and they just decided to give it to me for free, which I think was absolutely lovely, and it's really good quality. I do want to get a bigger one from them for Wargame, but this is like perfect for D&D or, you know, tabletop stuff. And yes, hi Threads, how are you doing? Also, links to both those people are in the description below, so definitely check them out. I was hoping to have the short out for tomorrow, but I think I'm probably not gonna get done tonight, so that's probably gonna be a day after sort of deal. I know. I've turned into such a show. but they're good products, I swear. I check out Nold every chance I get, lol. Okay, and then I also do want... Let's thin this white down kind of substantially, because I do want to get some of it into these gaps here. And you just want to sort of get like a nice thin consistency. I find that if you're also going to use these acrylic inks are really nice also, but getting sufficiently watered down paint is also a way to do it, I say as I mess up. Ah, okay. See, I didn't know if I could spoil the fact that Nold is Trainwreck. I didn't know if I had to be careful about what I say, but it seems like it sounds like people know. Yeah. Soon, TM, once this stupid thing is consistent. I think my plan before the end of this week is get the YouTube short with your guy there edited for the 8K interactive stuff. Get the rest of the minis you guys sent me painted, and then send over to you guys and so I can figure out what you guys think. When you guys send me that file, oh yeah, that's right. I meant to do that earlier today and I forgot. Crossed my mind at work and I completely forgot because my phone really did not want to download the big ass file, so I'll get to you pretty soon here, probably by tomorrow. Yeah, I don't want to say. Wait, I don't want Mal to say it's good if he doesn't think it's good. Honest opinions only. I mean, I am giving honest opinions. I think. Oh, here he is. I mean, I think the sculpts paint up great. I think they are probably some of the nicest FDM prints I've seen, and I'm pretty sure if your guys like files, like, you know, especially those big terrain pieces look great. I'm really excited to see what your resin prints look like, because obviously FDM isn't the best for like Warhammer style stuff or like, you know, really high detail, the sort of Cav 3 prints that we're seeing now. it is also like a Bright Minis thing, right? They have like a very distinctive sculpt, and I would like to see if you guys can't go further beyond that. But you know, obviously, it's all in the future. For now, I think you guys have a great product at a great price point. I've sent so many files, haven't gotten anything on the return. What trade? I think he was talking about an agreement we had, Warden. I just need for some of those white bits to dry, and then get some fluorescent on them, and then I think we should be good for the weapon. This weapon, at least. Yeah, Tooth and Coats is good, and it's owned by good people. It was kind of surreal just talking to the guy himself there, but what are you gonna do? Are talking about the upcoming set, or I didn't see the big bag. I saw the box he sent you guys away with. Oh, so we're talking about the same thing then. Yeah, of course I saw that. Okay, yeah, I did not see that he gave you more stuff. The real question is, are you ever gonna use it? That's what I want to be seen from Nolan. I may have. Oh, Warren sent me something also. Alright, I'll do Warren's first just because I think he sent it to me earlier. I really like the camo you're doing on these guys, by the way. I'm interested to see what you do with his base. I assume it's probably going to be pretty similar to the actual model himself. But yeah, it looks really nice, that sniper guy, Warren. Alright. Yes, I did see the resin print you posted, and I like both face and Warden stuff. This guy looks great. And oh yeah, he just sent you home with a big bag. Yeah, big bag of paint. That's what a nice guy, honestly. Yeah, the turntable of the camo, right? Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Let's not get too much of business stuff, but wait, yeah, they're the 1/2 and 3/4 full from the booth and a brand new box. Oh my man, that's super cool of them. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like he's gonna want to take all that paint back home. Okay. Oh, I was gonna say, because I see that's like a T-Sun sculpt. I assume there's no way you guys are gonna be able to actually sell that on your store, right? I presume there's gonna be some major legal hurdles. I know there's a lot of like nice resin manufacturers, but a lot of them have like special either like tiers or like, you know, licenses you need to pay for in order to print and sell their minis. They're unlisted. Yeah, I know that they're unlisted, but I presume if you're selling those on your website, I think GW is definitely gonna pursue some kind of legal action, because those are like at some point, right? Because I think if you like put those on the website, it's gonna be a question of like when more than if you get some sort of cease and desist. I'm not a lawyer, of course, but like I presume it's like that 1-to-1. Unless I am wrong, which would be cool, but a lot of like the ones that have like their own style, like I really like Station Forge for a lot of stuff. They do some like cool like pseudo Imperial Guard models that I may ask you guys to print once you guys figure out resin. Or I may just print myself. Like I have a bunch of their stuff, but they have like a special like supporter tier basically you need to have in order to actually sell their stuff as like an official merchant. I know you guys are. I think the main one I heard was Vayvictus. You guys are looking at. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how you guys handle all this going forward. Because I think the resin stuff excites me as like guy looking for like a little bit more premium miniatures. Even though I do love the FDM for tabletop, like, you know, RPG stuff, where players have broken too many of my good molds for me to really want something like, you know, like a super like nice hyper elaborate resin print I'm gonna spend 100 hours painting. That's kind of what's happening to me like last week. I don't know, printers, you occasionally just need like change the fab, like clean out the like there's somewhat consistent. Maybe you go figure out, but I haven't been able to. But yeah, like there's like sometimes random parts will not print. Like you'll level the bed, you'll do everything, and just it's like you get like hot spots where it just does not, where you always get misprints in that one area. It happened with my old printer, and it's happening with my new one like just recently. New one, quote unquote. It's a couple years old now, but still. 3 years old, 4 years old. Oftentimes it'll sort itself out, but I don't really know why that happens. I don't like how unclean the purple grills look. They don't look great. Well, yeah, I think my time is I have like sporadic free time, so it's like the Hearthstone, like I needed that, you know. I want to get that in before I left for the con, right? And all of a sudden, hey, printer just doesn't all work, and I can't tinker with it because it's like 2 days beforehand. Sorry, I think about purple. What was I saying? The pink. The pink I don't think looks good on the grill there. Did I say purple? I didn't mean to say purple. I'm also not colorblind. I feel like I have a good sense of color, but whatever. The fluorescent pink, the Monument Hobbies effect thing, doesn't look great. Or it looks good on one side, it looks bad on the other. May have had to be a little bit more aggressive with the pink, or with the white beforehand. But we'll fix that in a moment while that dries. Let's go back to the sky. Accidentally put on the Endangered Animals Registry. I heard the story I always heard was because it was the reason Kalinsky's Sable was recently much harder to find was because of the Russo-Ukrainian war. That, you know, because most Kalinsky's Sable is like export from Russia. That's why they're not importing as much of it. I mean, I'm not actively looking at you. Wait, you are to look at my Demon Prince, Mal. I mean, not on an active sense. Oh, my phone had a stroke. You're good. I think I understood your message. Unless I did, then feel free to resend it. But yeah, let's do a little bit of impromptu research. Let us just do a quick Google search while it is. I see. Wildlife mislabeling. So it's not okay, it's like a weird multifaceted issue where they are, I think, on an endangered list, and so some people don't want to use them, and then the war is stopping their harvesting, and then also there is a like a US import thing that oftentimes, because they're mislabeled, they are not allowed in. I'm down in 2 days in the office now, and he weirdly asked how he could make my job easier. I mean, that's something you'll hear often. Yeah, that is. I mean, I feel like half time it's like, oh, hire more people, so I don't need to do as much myself. But I want to buy some of the Chronicles brushes that are made of wolf hairs. I haven't heard about those. I don't know. I actually know what the Monument sale brushes are, but man, they are cheap. Maybe it's just because the store like has like overstock, but like this brush has been holding out like really well for, I think it was like a $10-15 like sable hair brush, and it keeps a great edge and just works really nicely. It's not anything like. Actually, how much was this? I think it was like 10. I think it was under 10 actually. Whereas I spent like 20 on my Winsor & Newton. That was like years ago. And I only do like the barest amount of cleaning and maintenance, and it's been doing pretty good. Many models. You think it was one of the 300 people you've told? Oh, I think someone rather I'm looking for a new job. From that response, I'm telling you now, it was Warden. That's a guilty response. He went to your office. He said, "This Gino guy, he's no good." That does make sense. Yeah, if they're trying to keep you, then they ask you how they can make your job easier. A second before. I think parts of this I want to be pink. I'll probably do the same thing where I'll do white inside these gaps here, and then go with the fluorescent pink. I sent you my demon prints. Okay, alright. This isn't like a live thing, but I will do my best. Okay, excuse my potential negligence here. I feel like it looks fantastic. I feel like I've seen this guy before, right? Even with like all the other options, I remember there's the one short, you made the recent short with this little crypt ghoul your wife painted. Like, he looks great. And yeah, I think you are right. In my head, he was a little bit more like baby blue. I forgot how like green he was, because I haven't seen him in a while. But he has a very similar tone now that I look at it again. He's in the Mommy Hall. Yeah, I agree. I agree, they're very similar. You were saying Ghost Blaster green, and just knowing GW, like, I had a, just for the name, I had a vision of what that paint would look like in my head. And, like, desaturated blue-green was not what I was thinking. Because I assume that's like a Necrons reference, right? I assume that would be like a, I guess the equivalent would be like a Warpstone glow. No, it's like more of a, oh, did I mess this up bad? That doesn't look too good, does it? I really should just be using this really nice acrylic ink I have sitting in a jar next to me. That will like find all these recesses for me, but I'm not doing that for some reason. I need to paint my demon prince at some point. Demon princes, rather. I don't know, I feel like I want to change up my whole like CSM scheme. I have like a 2,000 point list of one army. I think I want to start a new one. Either start a new one or like the 6th green. I feel like for a 6th green, you do like a yellowy green. I don't know, maybe it's for like, oh, it might be, sometimes when they paint Blackstone, it's like, has like a turquoise sort of sheen to it with the highlights. So maybe for like a month or something, that's what uses the final highlight on something like that. But that's like a Ghost Blaster. Alright, we got Warden looking, we got him distracted. Now I can say what I really feel, which is that Caden's scheme is actually really cool. I'd be interested to see how long it would take to like do a whole like army like conversions, you know, green stuff into capes and everything, and doing that camo. Because I think even for Warden that might be like a years-long project. Do they have 40k rules? I would hope they're like maybe a little bit fancier than just regular stormtroopers. I assume they have to, right? It's not even like an upgrade sprue, right? I think it's like a whole new thing. Also, what do you think of doing for bases? Because I see the very clear lack of a base on that guy. I have capillary action working against me with the white. You can see for a reason this one side is running down there, but I'll just use some panel liner later on to fix that up. Alright, back this guy. Yeah, I would assume so, which is like, why are you naming the paint after him? I feel like some Necrons do have that sort of like a bluish teal to them, but I always associate that more with Tomb Kings. Oh, you know what? I wonder if that was a Tomb Kings paint before GW renamed it. Maybe this was during the period before they had Old World and they didn't want anything Tomb Kings related. Because I know a lot of the paints that are now Thousand Sons related used to be like Tomb Kings names. Like, you know, Thousand Sons Blue, I think it used to be Khemri Blue. That may be it also. Alright. Cleaned up the gun a little bit. And I think they'll have rules. They don't have rules? They should have rules at some point. They might not be out yet, but at some point they should be getting rules. I think they're faster than now. They used to be quite slow for kill teams. Because, you know, it's its own game. Yeah, I think the way GW rolls now, they'll definitely give them rules at some point. I remember there was shit. I remember there was the weird time where Kill Team rules went straight to Legends for like the first year of Kill Team. Oh, I see. So like, you're proxying the new Runeterra for the old Runeterra, I assume? Or did I misunderstand that? The Runeterra has rules, but they can be proxies as of right now. Yeah, I do believe they upload the KT rules for free once they come to 40k. I thought there was a delay. Actually, the rules are probably up now. It has technically been a while. I think I realized the problem with this fluorescent paint. It's too thick. Like, you would assume it's like very translucent and watery, but actually does have quite a bit of like tension to it, so it's not going to recess quite like I hoped. Yeah, yeah. The free download section is naturally ballooned up over time. Because it's all the legend stuff. It's like any like one-off releases that don't correlate with a codex all go there. I think even stuff like a defiler you get from the free download section. Because it's obviously not going to be in like, your Thousand Suns codex or whatever. I believe so. I believe that's how that works. Like actually finding stuff sucks. I remember even for Legends Data sheets, it's like some like asinine process to actually find where you need to look, but I believe they should be on there. And I just realized that this thing also has glowy bits on the bomb that I didn't paint. So screw me. Whatever. I've seen them and everything, just didn't realize they were free. Well, yeah, because I mean, how would you do the paid versions of those things, right? Because there's not a codex for them. So GW is kind of forced to make them free unless they want to be like scumbags, be like, hey, buy our Defiler like standalone expansion magazine for $20. Which would be some bullshit, but I could definitely see him try and pull that. Yeah. So while we're ducking on GW, were you? I know you're into 40k. Like, are you aware of the whole bait switch that happened at the start of this edition in terms of free rules, where they advertised the game as having free rules on their Warhammer app, and then it turned out, a few months in, oh, by the way, we're revoking that. You need it's not available yet. What do you mean? Like, everyone that tournament I went to was running it. It's like a auto take. It has to be available somewhere because people are running at events. Because it's not like it came off the codex. I don't know how they're running it then. Like where would GW be posting those rules if not on their website? Unless I guess it is like unless Warden's right. Unless it's just Paylock behind Warhammer Plus, which would be not so good. Huh. That's scummy. That's like even worse than I thought. The app is such a scam, by the way. The whole you need to buy a book and pay for a subscription thing is like insane. That's like actual insanity in the modern day. Like, how are you getting away with that? I've never seen another company like get away with the way GW has, and people do it, right? Like, I've seen people like actually have the books and stuff, and just like why? Why are we doing this? Mine's almost painted, and they still haven't dropped the rule. That sucks if it's using old data sheet. It's not using old data sheet. It has a brand new data sheet that's super busted. To try and convince everybody to buy 3 of them, which all the meta chaser are doing, and it's like really, really, really good. And everyone's running. Oh god, it's a great model, but the fact that like a new model comes out and people just automatically go to just pounce on it like that is kind of gross. It would totally justify an update that nerfs it to the ground. Yeah, I mean. That's how it goes. Even stuff like free war gear that did this edition, I think it's like all just a way to increase turnover. You know, because you this is how companies work, right? You have these people that just find ways to squeeze money out of customers. So it's like, okay, this edition we're gonna do free war gear. Oh, in 11th we're gonna do partial war gears back. So now, okay, now you need to redo your squads a little bit because oh, the havocs you built, turns out you need to pay for last cannons. If you know. And all of a sudden, less cans aren't as good. So it gets people to have to rebuy stuff they already have without GW having to do any work. They just print, you know, a few numbers in a spreadsheet, and then people end up having to repaint their entire collection. Because that's the thing about having like 40k be such a big quote unquote competitive community. There's like a lot of people that play 4K competitively, even like at like a fairly basic level. Like keep in mind, all you need is like, you know, I would say there's what, maybe tens of thousands of like competitive 40k fans in the US that are going to rebuy models for, you know, their if like there's a big meta shift, and then, you know, each of those people is probably spending hundreds of dollars, so it ends up being very profitable for GW. I don't know if this is all too, you know, conspiratorial, but I'm pretty sure that's how they do it. Still a bit wet in there. I think the glow's coming out good. I definitely should have painted like the whole area around this black because I prefer the glow works here. I think it's all right. Like, why would you not do that, right? Let's run the numbers really quick. Let's say 10,000 competitive players in the US now, right? 10,000 competitive Warhammer fans. And you don't have to like the stream. Don't listen to old. Like the stream if you like the stream. But what you should do is you should check out friends of the channel, Built to Last Designs, and Trainwreck 3D. Links in the description. But what was I saying? Think about it this way: if you have 10,000 competitive 40k players, if you have like an update every quarter, which GW does, it's actually more like every month. When you keep in, you know, all the meta shifts and all like the little like new armies coming out. It's basically a new meta anyway. But you have like a big army overview every quarter. If like, you know, on average that like, let's say a 40k army costs probably $800 now. If you have to redo even 20% of your army, that's like big money moves for GW. Like I think it does genuinely generate them quite a bit of revenue from that like subsection. Because like guys like me, okay, I obviously I spent a lot on Warhammer myself, but I think I'm maybe not the best example, but I have like a narrative friend, right? He plays Tau. He only plays Tau. Buys. He has one of every Tau unit and only one. Buys them, paints them, plays with them. He has about 3,000, 4,000 points. He has a couple of copies of like some of the basic units like crisis suits and whatever your basic guys. But he's not really driven by FOMO. He still hasn't bought his twin lance yet, even though it's like busted. Because he has time. He doesn't really need to do this like yesterday. I think people like that really don't get like GW does not make money off those guys. He's not buying GW paints. He actually has a codex, but that's because of the crew army box. Like like the casual fan just buying a ramp box now then is not where you get your money. Even at like a bigger scale. Or I should say the existing fan's not where you get your money. I mean, there was that podcast with it was Peachy, but I forgot the other guy, who were ex-GW employees, and they just talked about us, right? GW does not care about existing fans because if you already have an army, you're already not their target demo. Because there's that big subsect of the community that gets in the game, starts an army, doesn't finish it, and then they just dropped a whole bunch of money for nothing. Yeah, exactly. They always need new blood coming in. The lack of new blood in the 2000s is what almost killed them, and I think they're very wary to always just get new people. Like screw the existing customer base. You want the Space Marine kids, right? You want the guys that played Space Marine 2, thought this looks sick, and then they don't really know what they're getting into, and then they ask their mom for an Ultramarines like Comet Patrol, whatever. And then you get their money, they don't paint it, then they want more, and they never get any of it painted, but that doesn't matter. I forgot about the Warhammer community. They post so much on that site. When I'm into Warhammer, that's where I go. Warcom is actually like a pretty good, it's really like a nicely laid out site, and they always have stuff going on. Like when I'm into the 40k hype, I'm basically checking it every morning, like while I'm at work or whatever. Which one's HeroClix? I know that name. What is he? Why does that sound so? These things? Oh, okay. Is that true, Nold? Nold, is that real? Did you? No way. Like, GW's financials are like insane. I don't know if I like unless I had like numbers in front of me. I don't know if I'm buying that. Yeah, the GW Doomers are like there's a lot of articles like that, but I don't know. I don't really buy them. They're always saying, oh yeah, GW's failing. GW's gonna go bankrupt this year, but I don't see it. I mean, yeah, they do make a boatload, but they're pursuing a very different kind of niche now than they were a couple years ago. I don't want to buy too much in the GW Doomer stuff, but there was like... I genuinely think GW's big bid in the next... between now and like 2030, I think that their big 5-year plan is to eat up Star Wars market share. Because no one cared about that goddamn Mandalorian and Grogu movie. No one I know saw that. Everyone went to go see like Backrooms and Obsession. I was at the theaters twice with like my friend group. Anyone I talked to like my age range, like younger people, no one cares about Star Wars. But a lot of people care about 40k. Like, like young people, older people. We constantly get like teenagers going in the stores now, like asking about Warhammer 40,000. That was like kind of rare back when I was a teenager. I was like the only one in my friend group that liked it. I'll be dropping my Saturday. I'm gonna building quizzes from many races and factions. I'm 23, so I say younger, but I'm also like I just graduated from my master's. I had friends who were a bit younger than me that I was doing D&D with, like even people who are like 19, 20 now. They don't care about Star Wars. I think 40K wants the Star Wars, like they want that slice of the pie. They want to fill that niche that Star Wars had in like the 2000s. My wife and Dara went and saw Backrooms. Yeah, I can imagine. Like that's like when Star Wars is getting shown up in the box office by two random like Backrooms was not low budget, but Obsession definitely was. You're that much younger than me? I guess so. I mean, I told you I just graduated, right? Well, I guess I also had a small gap in between, you know, my master's and my bachelor, but I feel like they've. So I'm not a big Star Wars guy. I feel like they've thrown around Darth Vader a lot, like between Rogue One. I know Rogue One was a long time ago, right? I get that, but like I feel like Darth Vader's been showing up a lot. What's that one game I played? The Jedi Survivor, the sort of Dark Souls like Darth Vader. I don't know if this is a big spoiler, but Darth Vader shows up at the end of that. Like I feel like they've been like cashing in that Vader check pretty hard. Because we had that big Vader drought. And then you know Disney wanted to cash in on the original trilogy nostalgia, so they've been throwing Vader around a lot. No, Mal is taller than me. I'm a big fella, unfortunately. I don't know if I don't know. I like being tall, but yeah, that's. I don't know. You could have tried at least. I respected the hustle. About the Mythosaur, I don't care about any of the people. What the? I don't know what the Mythos. The Mythosaur, is that one episode of the Clone Wars where there's like the father, mother, and the son? The new Predator movie, are you talking about Prey, or are you talking about... I know there's a Predator show. I didn't know there's a new Predator movie. Of Darth Vader, Joe had like 8 Vader things in his office, one in every corner, one on every wall. About beasts. Badlands, that was a show, right? Am I wrong in saying that was a show? I didn't watch it. I heard it was very, very good. I could have sworn it was a TV show, though. I want lore about the beasts. I don't know what the Mythosaur is. I was like I was huge into Star Wars as a young kid, right? I grew up, I had Battlefront 2 on the Xbox, like the original Xbox, but it was cross-compatible 360. I loved KOTOR. Like all that stuff is really cool. Like I like some of this deep Star Wars lore. Like they have some cool monsters. The skull on their armor. Whose armor? Oh, on the Mandalorian armor. Okay, I see. Oh, it was a movie. Okay, I'm sorry. Yug fan. I need Star Wars to move the fuck on. Either go way before or way after Skywalker. So yeah, my thing is the only Star Wars piece of media that I liked. Okay, this is my hot take. I think Star Wars is kind of mid, but the only piece of Star Wars media I've really liked and engaged with as an adult, beyond like Empire, I think that's the one good movie. But people are gonna get on my case. I feel like we have some pretty cool fans in chat. But I love KOTOR 2. KOTOR 2 is like a genuinely great story. That's mostly because I love what's his face? Avalon. Chris Avalon's writing. There's a lot of lore that has no movies. Yeah, I think you just need to be able to tell a good story. Like I feel like, you know, they were hyping up the expansiveness of their new Star Wars product, right? They're gonna have all these different movies, and they all just end up being like, okay, either like stuff we've seen before. Whereas I think if you get like what you need is a good filmmaker. They kind of have Andor, right? The guy who made Andor wasn't like a massive Star Wars head. Knights of the Old Republic 1 is the Revan one. It's really weird. Everyone in Star Wars seems to know Revan, but they don't know the game he's from, which is weird. But yeah, KOTOR 1 was good, but it's like a BioWare story. KOTOR 2 is made by Obsidian, and it was made by one of my favorite video game writers of all time. And it's like weird, and it's like deconstructive. It's kind of like The Last Jedi, but I really like it. It like plays around with like ideas of the Force, and it makes the Force cool to me. As someone that always thought the Force was really lame, like as an adult, it really appealed to me. Yeah, you probably played KOTOR 1. First Force Brothers, my car is named after a vehicle for Star Wars that has a mural across the back. Nice. No, fucking Starkiller, man. See, I don't feel like such a nerd, because apparently I know all the weird random characters, but I barely watch any Star Wars movies. So, Force Unleashed is Starkiller. Revan is, so your main character in the you hear about this like bad guy, Darth Revan, and you know you're playing Knights of the Old Republic, and halfway through it turns out you're Darth Revan, but you got like mind wiped or whatever. It's like the classic amnesia thing. Are the games not canon either? Is Revan canon? What's canon? Because I thought Thrawn wasn't canon. I actually read the books as a kid, the Thrawn books, the Shadow of the Empire, and I really like the Darth Bane books. But apparently Darth Bane is canon because he shows up in Clone Wars, the TV show on the Netflix. Are people playing Knights of the Old Republic like now? Are you playing that, Warden? If so, I'm really sorry, but I played that as a kid on my Xbox when I was like 4 years old. I didn't think this was like a I don't think this was like a hot debate here. Well, after Disney, nothing's canon, but they brought back Thrawn, didn't they? Like, I don't know what's going on with that because they're bringing back characters from the books, but the books aren't canon, so I have no clue. I have no clue what's going on. Okay, but I get that they said that, but then they bring back characters from the old canon. I agree. I think the second game's better, honestly. Like, it's a great reveal, but I don't know if, like... There's only, like, 3 guys in chat. This is not, like, to a wide audience. I assume if any of you want to play KOTOR, you've played KOTOR. You should play KOTOR, though. I'm constantly doing replays the second game. The second game is where it's at, in my opinion. Okay. Let me get the edge highlighting, because I'm about to be done with these weapons. I just need to do some edge highlighting here, and then we can get back to the main guy. Like I said, 10-year-old me screamed when they revealed Darth Revan thing. Okay. I have a really funny story. One of my best friends, I played D&D with him for a long time. Very good friend of mine for a while. He got KOTOR on his phone, and he would play it at lunch in high school. And like, this was not like an old school gamer guy, so I had to help him. Like, he had just joined our D&D group. He was like not familiar, but if you know, KOTOR is actually based on D&D 3.5. So he actually learned some of the systems of the game. He was like doing pretty well, but he was struggling through certain parts. So I was helping him. I was talking through a story. This guy's a mega Star Wars fan. This guy knew immediately, like he was like, whenever the little like dumbass cutscenes show up with like just the model of Darth Revan looking around, he was like pogging out. He was so excited. And it was like one of the most genuinely crazy like reactions, seeing him in the lunchroom reacting to the reveal of you're Darth Revan the whole time. Like, he could not believe it. It was just crazy to know who Darth Revan is going into it, like such like extreme detail, but not know the reveal of the game. Curious if we're getting Armageddon. I don't know. My plan was I always get those boxes, but I have so much to paint, and I'm not really hyped for the Space Marines. I would love the orcs for my Plague Orcs, but I can always buy half. But I think I eventually will. But I'm nowhere near as hyped as I was for the past 2, if I'm being honest. I'm surprised. I don't want to talk too much about your personal stuff. I'm surprised you say that, because from what little I know of the guy, he didn't seem like the biggest 40k guy, at least when you're talking. But he might just be in for the models, I assume, is what's going on there, Gino, or Nold, or whatever you are. Yeah, it's also expensive. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. The new Spearhead is awesome. I'll probably pass on the Armageddon box at first. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm not going into it thinking I'll get it, but it's probably one of those things where if like someone at the store is like, "Hey, do you want this? We'll give it to you for an extra discount or something," then I'll do it. Sort of like how I got Scaventine just this weekend, where it just was like on a really good price. If it's something like that, then I'll do it, but I'm definitely not getting it for... Oh, wait, also, when you think about Rey as Luke's aunt... Oh god, I don't know. I'll actually know the Star Wars genealogy. So Rey is a... Oh, Rey is his aunt because Anakin is kind of Sidious's kid. Because he's like was a child of the Force or whatever, but that was by Sidious. I see. Wait, who, my friend? Or my brother? No, your brother. You didn't meet my friend. My brother loves orcs. He just doesn't know a lot about, but everyone around him is gaining Warhammer. I see. Yeah, that makes sense. I do need to work on my Plague Works. I was working on them right before I left, and now I think I just have a few too many projects going on that I just need to get these Tau done, and then I can decompress a little bit. Because I think I started way too much without actually finishing anything. If that actually happens, and you let me come, like if you let me show up, if you don't like kick me out, I will be so happy. Oh no, my edge highlights, they look scuffed. I like how those edge highlights came out, but... So did you wash the snake guy? The later line script? No, okay. So, if you want, I don't want to really show people how sausage is made, but if you want my, like... On this guy's weapon, you can very lightly... This guy is with the AK Green Wash. You can very lightly see some layer lines on his weapon, but they're really, really not bad. Where we do have a problem, though. I was given a bunch of these, like, orc guys to paint. And I did one of them. And these guys look cool. They're, like, final 40k orc proxies, right? But if you look on the weapon, you can see some pretty bad layer lines. Obviously, because of flat surface, I did wash it. But that is a thing. I from now on, I'll try and prime them and see if that helps. I'm definitely coming, whether or not Bob Watch shows up. But if Bob Watch shows up, I will be very, very happy. If I'm being completely honest, Nold, I didn't know Bob Watts' name. I knew him by reputation. I knew he was a GW guy who I was watching a guy talk about Privateer Press. And I think he was probably talking about Bob Watts, but I knew him in my head, like mentally. It was guy who worked at Privateer Press and now works with Duncan Rhodes, and previously was in charge of GW. I didn't know he had this Hasbro connection at all. I didn't know he had the TSR, whoever made the TSR minis. I forget the name now. I didn't know he had any of those connections, but I didn't know Bob Watts by name before the con either. I mostly knew him just by legacy and like mostly in relation to Privateer Press. I guess in case anyone's watching the VOD and they're confused, at a local con we made, I don't want to say we made friends, but we were acquainted with a older gentleman named Bob Watts, who is currently, I believe, president of Transatlantic Games. However, they make the Tooth and Coats paints. However, prior to that, he has an insane resume, where he worked at a miniatures company that made minis for the TSR brand. He worked as the CFO, I believe, VP of Hasbro. He was the president of GW America for a while, and then he went to go work on and off, I believe, for Privateer Press. Yes, he's currently CEO of Transatlantic Games. So, and just like, and you hear all that, it's like, oh, this guy's an impressive resume. What's he like? He's just the nicest guy. Like, he would just talk. He literally talked to me for hours as I went to his booth and was painting little minis that that Trainwreck 3D had supplied to the convention. I think there were some other minis there too, but we won't talk about those. There was like a lizard man or something, but who cares? Yep, absolutely. Couldn't have said better myself, Nold. You got the two biggest Bob Watts glazers over here at the Mal show. Oh! Was that him? Bob told me he was there, and I went to look for him. I didn't realize I didn't realize it was that guy. Behind you? So you mean like basically when you came through the main entryway, you would be sort of like right in front on the right, and he was the guy first on the left, right? It was that guy that Bob was talking about, or no? I don't know if you remember any of this, but I don't know if that that helped you at all. Huh. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I did a few rounds trying to scope because yeah, he made like an offhand remark. I didn't realize that's who that was. I can be a little bit slow sometimes. Yeah, no, Cauldron booth. I know which one. Also, for Historicon, let me know if you guys want to be selling the painted minis there, because I can try and get you the guys I'm working on now, like post haste, like maybe even by like next week, if that works. And if you guys want more, if you guys really want to be selling a lot of the painted minis, I can try and paint some more up. If you guys give me stuff and time. Because I assume that's like your next big thing. Unless you want to do paint minis only on your store, which I think could also work. But just let me know what you guys want to do here. I need to think about it. My gut feeling was yeah, hell yeah, but I don't know. I have to look up the event lineup. My play experience at Concoction was, I think, a little bit bipolar. Where, the second day I discovered the Shadow Dark game. That was so much fun to play. I loved it. It's such a good time. And then that that Saturday, the first day I started playing, it turns out, okay, yeah, 4 p.m. rolls by and everyone calls like an early night, and then they all go back to the hotel. Like, okay, whatever. All right, okay, but there's a bunch of games going on tomorrow. Then I go in there tomorrow. I come in a little bit late, and by like 1 p.m., all the DMs are tired. So I get like 2 games in. And what was supposed to be going on for the entirety of the convention ends up calling, 2 early nights in a row. The D&D games were fine. I played Tunnels and Trolls, which was cool. I feel like some of the other players weren't maybe the most into it, but it was alright. And then there was a bunch of like other board games, but I don't know. I played like some like just random guys like homemade board game. That wasn't the best. It was still a bit overly long, but I was too polite to tell them I want to leave. The main theme for Historicon this year is the Rev War. I see. Yeah, that's the thing. I haven't really painted historical minis, and it's a little bit intimidating just knowing that I might not be entirely historically accurate with the color scheme. That's kind of how Vallejo got their whole big start, right? It's through their, historically inspired paint schemes. Yes, you guys did pick up those green boxes. I was low-key jealous until I saw a price tag, but I do like Metal Minis, but I'm also like a heretic, right? I don't collect them for collectibles. I collect them to paint. I did get the cool Chaos Sorcerer. He's upstairs, though. I don't know if you guys want to see him on stream. Alright. Looking good, guys. We have 2 fancy guns done up here for the Ghost Scale. Oh wait, no, I'm not done. I need to do a pink on the Tau decal. If you don't mind, remind me how much you guys pay for it. So I usually for metal minis just use super glue, and then sometimes you might need to do some pinning, but obviously those are $90. I mean that's a fair bargain you guys got. Oh god, there was the one guy selling like an old classic Space Marine set with 108 like infantry models and like 12 tanks. It was like one of like the old Space Marine mega box sets. This was the guy that was selling all like the old Warhammer Metal Mini stuff. The guy who allegedly had some beakies, but that guy had this big box in the back. It was worth like multiple thousands. Oh man, that was some cool stuff. I think 800 was for the smaller set. That was like for like basically an army box, but there was like a massive like it was a full Space Marine company basically, like in the back, or even more than a full Space Marine company. I think it was more than 800, dude. I think it was like quite a bit. Well, not right on your parade, but I mean, I feel like quantity is so much greater now. Like, I don't think... Maybe, because I feel like some boxes like Dark Imperium are hard to find. No, I guess eventually it all gets kind of rare, but... I'm interested to see, you know, is Warhammer boxes like a combat troll going to really have the same value as like some of those old Space Marine boxes from the 2000s have now. I am buying up as many D&D books as I can since Hasbro discontinued physical copies. Like 5e books or like classic D&D books. I picked up some nice D&D books as well. I picked up the 3.5 Fiend Folio. I can only see stink lines. I am often complimented on my scent. I'm often told I smell good. So take that. That's what we call the what am I doing here now? Oh yeah, I need to grab this guy. Clearly often having your feelings spared. This year sometime, I think, they're gonna sub and pay to play is the word. Oh, wait. I see. Huh. Oh, so this is for new books, too, that they're discontinuing. That's wild. I don't know. I feel like most people I see playing D&D just use 5e tools. I would assume... Like, I know D&D Beyond, all those are, like, big. But I feel like WotC still has the like massive printing ecosystem for Magic. One of the big reasons why D&D 5.5 didn't release all at once allegedly was because WotC printed those books in between Magic sets, like big Magic releases. So like, if they have the ecosystem to print stuff, why wouldn't you print it? Because I feel like people, D&D is a big property. People won't have those books like on their shelves. I have watched some vids about it. It's fun for people that doesn't want physical copies, but I'm old school. I feel like a lot of people would like physical copies, even if they don't use them, even if it's like a, whatever you would call it, like a performative thing. Like I feel like, you know, even younger people, like I know I'm obviously a weirdo that is a little bit discongruous, right? And I like having physical copies as well for these books. But I feel like a lot of people would, just like as like decorations. Or like not even decorations, but like even if they don't read them often, just put them on your shelf, right? And I feel like they have the ecosystem. I don't think WotC's really struggling for printing. I know they're doing more Magic sets, but still, it can't be. I mean, it's just a way of I'd rather physical books, but PDFs are way better for on-the-fly DMing. Easier to carry around the iPad than a book full of books. I get it to a degree, but looking books. So I get that, but the scale at which WotC operates printing for Magic the Gathering, I think, is such that they already have a whole ecosystem to support printing books for cheap. And I think even if it's in a limited capacity, I think shutting down all printing operations is not... Like, obviously, you know, someone there deemed it to be profitable, so their margins can't be that good. Although, in my experience, people, even for modern 5e books, there's a lot of people who still want them. Like, in physical copies. There's a lot of people still buying them in physical copies. There's people younger than I am that are still buying every D&D book that comes out as a physical thing. So if you're a company that is their main import is cardboard crack with Magic, and you're printing all these copies of books, I think having, you know, your machines running on the off scene like that for some D&D stuff is not. The big thing is that the artist could lose out on what they do, as a company can just type. Yeah, that's a big thing too, and then boom, character created. Yeah, fair. Yeah, the AI stuff with WotC is also weird. Because it's a company that is so... The art is such a big thing for many of their, like, diehard fans. Like, there's a big subsect of the Magic community that is, like, really fanatical about their art and artists. And obviously that ecosystem also contributes back to D&D. I mean... I'm just gonna start saying acronyms: WotC, ACI, GW, TS, WE, EC. Have fun deciphering anymore. TS. Well, I assume it's Thousand Sons, World Eaters, Emperor's Children. The issue is that there's a lot of things that have WE. Like, you could be talking about Wood Elves. I assume you're not. I assume you're not talking about Wood Elves here, but you could be. And that's what makes the whole acronym game a little bit weird. Apparently, there's a pretty good rumor going around that we're getting a new box set for... what's the game I like? Old World. We're getting a new Old World box set that is allegedly going to be Wood Elves versus Tomb Kings. Man, I can't wait to paint my Raven Guard's Comp Patrol. GW really got me there, but my Grey Knights and my Night Lords. Oh yeah, there is a Night Lords Comp Patrol. I see we got that one. I don't know why you got Grey. I don't know. Yeah, if you like the Grey Knights, that's fine. They are old. They're old, and the box seems to be great value. Well, let me double check what these comic rules are. What's the Raven Guard one again? Head Aggressors? Is this right? Huh. That's a kind of funky comic rule. 5. Oh, okay. So 10 infiltrators, 5 assault marines. The character and the Invictor. I mean, I feel like with 10th combat trolls, the fact that they're so much more expensive and that they have like one less unit, it does bite a little bit. What's the Night Lords one? This one I remember looking good. This one, I think. Yeah, it has like a transport. It's got your 5 chosen. I feel like this one could also use like an extra thing. Probably like 10 raptors instead of the 5 chosen is what I would do, but I'm not GW. Have a good one, Threads. It was fun. I hope to see more of you later. I don't also want to paint this. I want some more purple in the mall. I'm just going to paint the Flamer canisters purple. Because why the hell not? But my KDK is probably my most favorite bomb intimidated paint. Oh, on your website or what? What's KDK? Because I don't think of Iden the Thiefkin. I can't for life of me think of what KDK could stand for. Also, my voice is going. I think that damn con got me sick. So I might have to call an early stream and just paint on my own. Oh, okay. Krieg Death Corpse? I've never seen anyone... If you did DKK, I would have known, but... I've never seen anyone put it in that order. Ah! We're okay. We're okay, guys. It's gonna be okay. All right. The disaster avert. I should let me just leave my thing here. Yeah, but you weren't also what, me screaming like a baby because my precious little guy got dropped? I got my toy a little bit dirty and I screamed. You think you ever hear that before? I'm mainly doing it because my thing is right here, so I keep nudging this whenever I go into use my palette. My camera stand. What? They make that weird of a noise? I'm glad that you guys do love the content. That means that's really nice to hear. What's weird about the panic noise? Also, I feel blood creeping up the back of my throat, so that may be affecting how I present audibly. Pilot Homer screaming. I don't get that reference, but it's also late, so I was trying not to be too loud. My usual result whenever I'm like panicked or like jump scared, I don't make like a little yelp or a scream. I don't like do like a little like sorrow. I just scream. I holler bloody murder, which I don't think is a good reaction, but typically if I need help, people know. Hoorah. Okay. Yeah, my voice is really starting to go at this point. I don't know if I could quite keep up the my beautiful sultry tone. I think that screamed me in. I blame Gito because he took me to the con, and then one of those damn 40k players coughed on me, gave me Nurgle's rot. So I think I may be actually cutting it around now, unfortunately. He did sound like a cartoon. Was like a cool cartoon. Warden, Mal didn't even say hello. It's me, Mal. He just came up and started shopping. I need to see how his customer service was. I have 10, and what can I approve? I mean, I think with hobby stuff, I think it's just most important to like the guy who's selling it to you, at least to me, right? It's not like I need to be informed, so I know what a FDM print is. So I think a lot of it is just knowing, like being able to read your like level of like customer, right? Like what's their level of knowledge, what are they shopping for, right? And you obviously can't read people like a book like that, but you know, see if you can't like. I feel like at Story, you know, usually you can sort of gauge their interest, like make some sort of like profile of what their shopping habits might be like. So I think that's what's most important to me is where I could go into a store, look around, I can So go to the store, look around, and when I could talk to the, whoever's setting up, the guy at the store, when it seems like he knows what he's selling, he's giving me like a fair shake. And he sort of respects where I'm coming at, right? And to me, you seem like that guy, right? I just realized that may have been like a sort of confusingly rambly way to put it, but when I came in, I felt like I was like adequately treated. I was able to look around, and then any sort of remarks I made, you were typically quick to bring up. You sort of knew what you were selling. You knew what what your target audience was, and you were able to speak that. So I'd probably give you a solid. I would give you, for that first interaction before you knew me, I would give you a 7 because you were the only person at the store at that point. And there was another customer who was in before me, who I think you obviously knew that person. You were talking more to them, but even as you were having that conversation, you were looking at what I was like perusing, and you were sort of splitting your attention. But obviously, that may be detracted from that. But I would say overall, seeing you with other customers, I would give you a 9. You shouldn't have paid for stuff and said you're Mal, you're cheapskate. Yeah, just chuckle at my comment. You know what you did. What did I do? I don't understand. But if you're asking me to judge you just based off that first interaction, yeah, it's only a 7 because if you rated him, then got discount. Like I dual wield computers at work. Does that mean you like have 2 monitors, or does that mean you're like operating two machines at the same time? Actually, no, I do that for simulation work, but it's usually just through a VM. I don't physically have 2 computers open from me. That's like psychotic. I think I might also do pink here. Might as well. Some more pink on there. Yeah, I'm not like asking for discounts here. I'm not a fucking charity case. But I did get free stuff. I got a very thoughtful Lego themed gift. And I got some random extras, and I got some extra free, quote unquote free stuff, but stuff that I need to get painted for future endeavors. Do I have any of those guys? I need to look through. I bought quite a bit. But I can't promise I have any of those guys in my collection. Okay, yeah. Were those the guys you threw into my bag? Okay. Then yes, I have them. I just haven't adequately gone through my stuff. When's Warden getting his stuff? Alright. I don't know how I can carry on, guys. The voice is not getting better. And I know tomorrow's gonna be worse, so in case I need to go on like a work call or something, I want to try and preserve it. So just gonna be a few more minutes here. I am really liking how this guy's coming along, though. Unfortunately, I wanted to finish him on the stream, but I don't think I'll be able to. Next one for sure, though. I'm saying Warren Blemmies, yeah, when you're too sick to work, call, shut the fuck up. I mean, I work from home. I work remote. I'll be alright. I feel fine, but the throat's usually the first thing to go, so hopefully I wake up okay. Order to delivery date will be left out of my shield, by the way. That's one thing I dislike about some of you people's streams. You finish off stream. I won't finish this guy off stream, I swear. Mainly because I also need I've been streaming. This is the one project I've been streaming the whole way through. Actually, I did do a little bit of work on the Fire Wars off stream. Besides that, you can go. There's a playlist on my channel, Nold. Put the whole thing on. You can see him from the very start to the very end, streamed. All right. So I don't want any of that. This is my on-stream project. No, it's because I literally physically can't talk anymore. But it was super fun, guys. I'll probably start editing this guy for a short in a few days. Probably day after tomorrow, hopefully. Have a good one, everybody.